started. So welcome everyone to the second day of the panel discussion where yesterday we discussed more about is AI a boon or bane, and most of the panelists agreed to that it's a boon but not a bane. And we are going to work with AI closely moving forward, but a request where everyone needs to ensure that they are traveling with the AI and they need to be vigilant all the time in terms of the latest trends or happenings that are happening across the AI and how it will help in our domains across different roles, either for the agile coach or scrum masters or product owners or development team, right? So today it's going to be more or less the same, but we are going to tune it in a different way with respect to how AI enabled agile is going to create a new evolution and beyond agile horizons, how it's going to happen. So today we'll get more insights from the panelists on the evolution part and how AI enabled agile is making its impact on different roles, how it's making its impact on the decision making areas, or it can be with respect to the analytics or with respect to the security, which is one of the key concerns with respect to AI today, because of which most of the organizations are stepping back in terms of implementation. That also will try to understand what are the pros and cons with respect to the security and how we can make it more effective. And apart from that, we'll touch base little bit on the metrics part also. What are the good metrics that we can track using, AI? So before that, I request all the panelists to quickly introduce themselves so that we can take it from there. Probably, I think, Ketan, we can start with.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Very good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everybody from all the parts of the world who have been joining here. I'm Ketan. So I'm more of a learner with respect to AI, and been practicing Agile from a long time, despite I'm just sustaining myself being an Agile practitioner. It's a long amount of time of 18 years to make a lot of immense lakhs and lakhs of mistakes to enable my information and knowledge. And I've been wise enough to share my mistakes, everybody, so that people can learn from the encouraging mistakes to generate more wise failures so that they can have a good journey of growth going forward. And that's the best way to represent it. And moreover, I'm quite passionate about learning with respect to sustaining the information with coaching. I feel coaching is more about self-enablement as well. So I work on a role of a coach, despite it's more of me learning more than the coaches and how we can adopt it. Uh, More than a year or so now, it's been quite passionate about the learnings of AI and also in the agile space, how it goes. I'm based out of Pune and I've been part of a lot of conferences being a speaker. I'm not sure how people are still bearing me a lot. And I'm quite good that the more they bear me, the more I get more chances to speak and be the panelist and speaker everywhere. So that's all from me. And in coming days, it's one of the book that I've been reading right now, The Speed of Trust from Stephen Covey. That's a very good book. That's something a good understanding to go with because AI has gotten so the factors of ethical imperative like trust and transparency is something that the books can give. So surely that book is really a good, insightful book, and that's something that I was doing in the morning today. So thought of just sharing with all of you. That's all from me.
Thanks, Ketan, for a quick way to introduce yourself. Nagini, from your side.
Hey, thank you. So I have been in Hyderabad all through my career and 27 years for this July I completed in IT. I have been in various roles and being in Agile is like more than 15 years now. I am also a learner in AI and we are implementing parts and pieces of our transformation into AI tools and other things. And the quest for learning is still on. And more than anything, I give a lot of emphasis to the EI part of, transformation, where I have earned a lot of respect in the industry for the same. And my latest book which I'm reading right now is Attitude, the Shit Nobody Has Taught Us. A very interesting book on how leaders have, tuned themselves to become leaders because of that attitude. One thing I just wanted to add is uh, see, please forgive me if my audio is, interrupting or my video is interrupting because I have a bad Airtel repair going on near my house. And I have met most of you in few conferences and heard a lot of you, if not met. And this again is a very interesting topic today because being in agile transformation, and I have seen a lot of topics about the agile roles, decision making, predictive analysis, which are all very easy to speak but very difficult to put into practice. Thank you.
Thanks, Nagini, for the great introduction. Saurabh, from your side.
Hello, everyone. My name is Saurabh Sharma, and I'm a founder at Agile 360-degree Consulting. And my primary experience is centered around in software development companies. In the initial years with HCL, Wipro, TCS, and then subsequently I got the opportunity to work as an agile coach within the company, transforming that organization. And then I turned that passion into my own venture and started consulting and training on agile piece. And the philosophy that I use in during my consulting and training part is that is based on two pillars. One pillar is that we need to look at the whole thing in a 360-degree way. We need to look the whole problem holistically. We can't just go in pieces and start fixing the things. Another thing is, which Roger very beautifully pointed out, that it's more of a mindset. It's not that, you apply processes and rules and try to implement agile. So that's the two pillars that we use with our clients. So I'm paneled with, certain set of clients as an advisor, as a consultant. So I consult those companies. So that's about me.
Thanks, Saurabh. Meghna, please introduce yourself.
So first and foremost, it's very nice, power-packed, learning-packed, rather, I should say. And yesterday night, after hearing quite a lot of interesting stuff, I felt, oh, there is still a long way to go. And which is a good thing, because once you realize that, you are much more tuned to learning. So it's been this September, precisely 11th September, it's been 24 years and a couple of days now. So that's the little journey, starting out in applications development, then moving to different Scrum roles when things were not as structured in terms of learning. So a lot of experimentation, learning by doing. And generally what I discovered is laptops or softwares don't bite. So just go for it, just try out things, and you will definitely learn something along the way. So that's something that stayed all along. And it's for sure a passion that got me to be an agile coach, a passion to share, passion to help organizations succeed. And of course, every once in a while, when the busy lives allow, I try to volunteer for things like these. And it's always nice to meet people, understand different perspectives, and learn from them. So extremely happy to be here. And I'm sure we all will share some interesting stuff for all of you to take away today as well. So back to you, Shabbat.
Thanks so much, Meghna, and thanks everyone for your great introductions. Yeah, really, we are looking forward to valuable insights from all of you. First of all, I want to thank from SSAG and PPGI platforms to all of you for voluntarily coming up despite your busy schedules and willing to share your valuable thoughts with us and provide some sort of guidance in this turbulent world, right? Where people are bombarded with a lot of technologies, bombarded with a lot of thought process within the organization and outside the organization, right? So I think these kind of platforms or the sessions will make more relevance, every time when we do this, right? So having said that, let me start with Ketan. So Ketan, we were talking about, AI-enabled agile, right? That is how organizations are working or seeing as of today. So how you see this evolution from your side? Can you please share a few insights?
Sure. So let's understand, the first, I would like to share first of all the AI and, the evolution of it. So many times, how it all came in, I was part of a lot of discussions earlier. I think Alan Turing's test in 1960s was the first time something came in as called as an AI thing. Then expert systems came in somewhere in 2000s. If you all remember the game of Prince of Persia, if anybody have played that, I played a lot. And I used to always like whenever, that guy used to go in all the levels and meet the princess at the end. I think that was one of the examples of expert systems, and solitaire came in picture. And basically you go towards more of the chess, where IBM launched the chess, which was more AI driven and which basically defeated Kasparov in early 2000s. That was one of the most dramatic change, despite Vishwanathan Anand won it from India. So that was a great thing. It came into 2010s when we got Facebook coming in, and then it came to machine learnings and data. Machine learning was more about any AI driven machine that used to come. We now have Alexas and Siris coming in. Now the deep learning comes in picture, where the moment you see any nice song on the Facebook, suddenly you get a lot of songs coming into it. That's all data analytics coming in picture. And then came in Gen AI. So it's basically an onion of AI, and then get into it, and you come down to Gen AI. Many times it has been said that, the Persians in the earlier 500 BC started something with AI, something that they used to use some divine weapons and all those things. And one example I want to give you from our Indian construct and this culture that we have, that Aryabhatta in early 2000 BC, he created a calendar which we all use in our houses. We all have calendars, and even the calendar know that today is Ganesh festival. Today is some kind of auspicious day. It has been calculated and the framework has been established in such a beautiful way that still today and maybe many years forward, you're going to use the calendars to know that when is the Shera, when is Diwali, when is so and so festival coming in, and how it basically comes in picture. So it's all aspect of the five elements of how this has been constructed. You basically have the circulation of moon across the earth, and every positioning of the moon is basically the way it resembles it. You call it Tithi, that is the auspicious day. You call it Var, which is basically one of the weekdays that we have. We then go towards Nakshatra, is more about the moon's rotation and revolution with the stars and the planets coming across it. All of these were so much calculated with mathematics and intelligence as a framework. It was not AI, it was just a framework that today we blindly believe in it. And we're going to believe it for the rest of the lives, maybe many more generations to come. Same is the aspect of generative AI. You have data. So when we have data, you want to need to have a model architecture, which is basically having data. This is more about AI, how it is getting evolved. You then basically train the algorithm on the data. So if suppose, I'm just going to give an example, that Pune has almost 500 food joints who serves biryani. Hyderabad may have 5,000. I'm not sure. I'm just giving a number. Now, if Ketan wants to enjoy a biryani, which is more close to Zafrani biryani of Hyderabad, then if Gen AI is enabled, it has to train an algorithm to get me the best of it, which is near to my place, near to my hotel, near to my locality, from Zomato and Swiggy to deliver it to me. That's the power of AI which comes in picture. The same is it has been reflected 2000 BC back by Aryabhatta in the calendar. We never thought about it that this is how it evolved. You talk about AI agile evolution. This is one of the examples I can give you that this is something which is already there with us, just our realization. Now, coming back to how it is basically linking to more agile ways of working is that it's AI and agile or AI enabled agile. So agile is more important, not AI. AI is enabling, right? So it is AI is an assistance towards agile ways of working. So it is basically agile ways of working which is more important. it goes into a different mindset altogether, that because we have AI written first, we focus on AI. And then Agile comes in picture. So maybe this is more for the team members as well, that when I communicate that back to a lot of teams, that it is more about the ways of working, and then when AI can be used. That is exactly what is important. So when you go from evolution, from traditional ways of working, traditional Agile, now we have to say traditional Agile because AI have been enabled. We are moving from reactive to proactive. It basically anticipating the potential challenges through predictive analysis, allowing teams to understand proactively that what and when they can basically choose to implement Agile more proactively. From manual decisions to augmented decisions, it is more about how your decision making can be influenced using AI. That is one of the evolution changes coming in picture. The last is about you have a team centric ways of working with hybrid intelligence now. AI can act as a team member. But remember, AI as a team member is only to assist, not to provide a self-organizing trait to you. If that is something has been considered, then this evolution will not sustain in more of a constructive way. So I think that is one of the examples that I can give you is, that suppose we have a sprint planning meeting where AI is automatically suggesting, that the optimal sprint goals are based on the historical performance, team capacity, and customer demand forecast. It's a proactive and positive way of looking how AI can evolve with Agile. But maybe in a similar way, a funny thing could be that you have an AI Agile sprint planner where you say, considering something like, Ketan will be late on his user stories because somehow the way his coffee machine will break down and somehow he's not able to be attentive for the half of the day. Well, these are the instructions, these are the comments that I have put in my team's chat, and AI is reading it. Automatically, what the AI does is it's going to limit my capacity. Because understand that when you do a capacity planning in sprint planning, you calculate number of story points available. A lot of people, they do hours and all those things. If AI is reading, generative AI is reading my text, automatically my 5 hours are gone. Same way somebody says, I have some errands to work upon, those hours are gone. We are so dynamic that all these things we do it despite we work. We don't tell that I have a son near me who needs an assistance. A lot of working women have so many multitasking to be done that we can't imagine about it. Right? This is how Agile has evolved. It has made us the way we are. But AI is there to assist, but not in this way, where it is calculating the 5 and 6 hours as well and updating the capacity. So whole objective here is that it is going to be an evolution, but also about humans to understand the evolution is for our betterment, to make our efficiency better, not to drive us. So I will take a pause on that, but this is how I feel the evolution has came in and will sustain with our intelligence of consciousness.
Thanks, Ketan. That's a great way of explaining it in detail with respect to the evolution. Saurabh, how about you? You see a different perspective, or you echo with Ketan? I think you're on mute, Saurabh.
Yeah, I agree with Ketan on that particular part. Yes, Agile is the main thing and AI is the enabler. So I think that part settles very clear. But just to add on to the another dimension to what Ketan has mentioned over here, in terms of the real brass tacks, what AI-enabled Agile would mean to the people on the ground would be that there is going to be an impact all around on the core engineering functions. So whatever engineering function you undertake, whether it is business analysis, whether it is design, whether it is UX, UI, whether it is coding or testing. So all the engineering functions are going to be impacted dramatically. So you can take as many use cases you want in each of them. And the net result on these thing would be is that there will be shrinking of the time. So once the individual pieces time shrinks, so in addition to that, quality of the decision might become better. And if that decision time shrinks, so you will see at the end of the few down the line, a few months and years, that your sprint cycles become small. The whole product life cycle, the lead time, the cycle time will become small. So that is one area which I think that AI enabled Agile will bring on the ground. Another thing that probably so AI enabled Agile is for operations, optimizing your operations, improving productivity, reducing cost and everything. The second aspect which deals with AI enabled Agile is when you try to infuse AI into your own products, so the products you are developing in Agile, but you're trying to infuse AI into your products, maybe in your claims processing, your claim settlement, or you're trying to use some LLMs, let's say Llama or Mistral, into your product. That is going to be a little bit more challenging and hard task for the people to do, because it will require good amount of POCs to be done, good amount of use cases to be figured it out, whose ROI is good, and then invest the money in the software as well as in the GPUs and everywhere to insert that particular this thing into their product, which is going to be a little tough call. Large companies, I'm sure they will be able to do because they have deep pockets, but small companies will struggle to infuse that particular piece of AI into their products or services that way. So these are two areas I feel that AI enablement of Agile will happen down the line.
Thanks, Saurabh, for your great value add. I think while AI is becoming very important in our every phase of life, it comes with a higher cost also, which is one of the key differentiating
Absolutely,
factors for all the organizations. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Um, I think we can move forward. So to Nagini and Meghna, uh, whenever a new technology that is coming in, right, there is some kind of pain that is coming in your spine, like how it is going to affect your day-to-day activities and how it's gonna be a friend or is gonna take away your jobs. So most of the people who are in this session today also have a question in their mind, like how it is going to influence or impact their current roles, right? Whether it can be agile coach, or it can be a product owner, or it can be a scrum master, or the entire development team. So can you both of you explain like how it's gonna influence the current roles? By role wise, if you can be able to explain, that will be great.
Sure.
Maybe Nagini can start off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Nagini, you're on mute. Sorry.
So the evolution of AI is in a way already determining how the roles are going to be changed. How are we going to use that for making our agile roles better is what I'm going to come up with. Few of the areas where there is a lot of difference it can bring in is the mandatory or the repetitive tasks which we do as a Scrum Master, product owner, developer, or a tester. So for example, if I have to talk about a Scrum Master role, maybe I would say I can make it as my assistant. As a Scrum Master assistant is what I can utilize it for: facilitating meetings, monitoring what is happening in the meeting, writing the minutes of the meeting, or circulating it to the teams, and if you see any impediments, have a flag to that, and other things I can do. But more than that, if it requires any human intervention, maybe I, as a Scrum Master, have to step in. For example, if I have to talk about the role of a product owner, so I would say prioritizing the backlog is the first option which a product owner can use it for. Then you can have user story refinement from the historical data you have, and you can take the um, data from the previous sprints or anything for predicting how much you can deliver here, or the forecast of what is going to come in the next features, anything of that sort where you have seen in the previous historical data, analyzing what is the market trend, and you can go to the stakeholders with your suggestions of fine-tuning the user requirements. All these things are some of the areas where, as a product owner also, I can use AI for the benefit of less time to be consumed. Moreover, I have to also apply my human intuition to that. It's not entirely dependent on the AI models or anything. And the other thing is competitive analysis, which is very important for a product owner to understand more about the market and the trends to help stakeholders come up with most recent developments in the industry, right? The other thing is, as a developer, if I have to talk as a developer, I can actually use this as a kind of a prototyping tool for me, designing tool for me, or I can also say that backlog management I can do with my power of the AI tools I have. Most importantly, I can generate some test scripts for myself to see how are the functions coming out, or the functionality is working or not, and any other kind of automatic generation of test scripts. All these things are very good for as a developer and a tester also. You can have your own stories written for the testing. And one more thing which I actually have to bring up here is the code generation and review for a developer. That we can use a lot of tools which are already available, and that part we can utilize for some time. On top of that, you can have your pair programming and other things to your advantage. For me, AI introduction of AI into my agile practices is just like another pair programming, where we are dependent on each other. As a pair programmer, what you do is you are going to do a review of the other person, and the other person also has to agree to what the mutual understanding is what I'm trying to say here. So if I can actually consider that as a pair programming between me and the AI tool, that would be the great combination for any role in Agile. Similar thing for a coach also. Like the only thing I may miss is the humor, interaction, intuition, and the emotional part of it.
Understood. Thanks, Nagdi. Meghna, you want to add your perspective also?
Sure. So I think let us look at it in two ways. One is, of course, there are things which any machine, any algorithm might give you an edge over instead of doing it yourself. So I think those are the best candidates. Those tasks are the best candidates which can be passed on to an assistant, whether this assistant is assisting a Scrum Master, a product owner, or a development team member for that matter. And where specifically human experience at a very deep level, human empathy and creativity is needed, I think that is best performed by the human in the loop. So I would encourage everyone to look at AI as your co-pilot, and rightly so. We have, already a great offering which is called Copilot.
Yes.
So that's how it's going to be. But when you talk about the term co-pilot, the first thing that comes to mind is pilots in a cockpit, right? And one thing which we all know about is no plane functions entirely on the co-pilot, right? You have people in the cockpit who work together with the co-pilot and really give you a great experience, which is full of satisfaction as well as safety. So that's how I would encourage everyone to look at AI. So I think Nagini has outlined it really well in terms of what this assistant can help us with. So whether assisting a product owner or a development team member for that matter, or a Scrum Master. Now, another important thing to note is there could be new roles which will also emerge, which possibly we know about today, but we haven't thought about them in the context of AI. And why do we need to think about them in the context of AI is, again, coming back to the basic concept of agility. It will give you a lot of opportunity to really accelerate your product development or services offering. So I think yesterday we had a very interesting thought about, today we talk about features and program increments or working in quarters, let's say. But that day might come when we have features being churned out in a single sprint. So what we are essentially talking about is really meeting our intended customers faster. And better satisfying them. So we could have new roles coming in, especially from the ethics standpoint and the infrastructure standpoint, the governance standpoint. So today we might not have a proper designation for them outlined because it's still a little bit in the future, but no harm pursuing that. When we talk about ethics, when we talk about governance, it's a good thing if people want to get into this field, try and pick up what are the elements, try and understand about GDPR and data protection, because at the heart of everything, it's data that is running
Right.
the real show in a way. So, roles around that could emerge. I don't know what would be the right name or terminology for that, or what would be the role designation, maybe a governance specialist or something on those lines. So what's important to understand is there could be new things coming out, and there will be changes to the existing roles. So what we today talk about in terms of transformation, tomorrow we could have an AI transformation lead and the likes. Now, definitely the transformation fundamentals remain the same. It is how you go about approaching it, or whether product managers, product owners, it's basically going to get combined with AI. So look at it in that way. And most of this would go to product implementation. But there was an interesting point earlier on how about integrating AI in some of your offerings. So that's a whole different world where you need specific roles again and skills, and of course a whole lot of data specialization, data protection fundamentals and the likes. And of course you need people who understand tools, people who can integrate the offerings and the likes. So there are a lot of opportunities. That's the point I want to bring up fundamentally. And some of these things might not be fully baked because a lot of stuff is evolving. But no harm trying to pursue this, because looks promising at least. And for sure, some of these things, or many of these things, would be needed in near future, and it could as well be sooner than what we think.
That's a great way to explain, Meghna. I echo with you, like in terms of governance, infrastructure, security. There are a lot of changes that are happening from the AI perspective also.
Right.
And people are more vigilant in terms of getting their data exposed to the external environments. At the same time, they are taking certain set of risks, which within their internal environments, if they want to test and see how the LLMs are working, right?
Right.
So apart from that, that's why we advise everyone to be always upgraded with the latest and the greatest technologies, right? And organizations are also training people in those key knowledge areas to ensure they effectively deliver the products. I think that's a great way of explaining things. Thanks for that, Meghna and Nagini. Let's
Sure.
move
Just to
ahead.
add to that,
Mhm,
Sharath, what is
mhm.
happening is already in financial institutions where they are using AI and ML, there are processes revolving around model governance and
Yes,
all the regulatory risk identification, and a lot of new roles have already come in. It's
I
just that
agree.
you have to understand what you have to be equipped with to get into those roles and then sustain for some more years.
Yep. And what your
Completely.
strengths are, basically. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
So tomorrow we might have AI agile coaches or something like that. So if that's what you want to pursue, then just join the train or plane.
Completely agree with you, Meghna. That's where the consistent upskilling also plays a key role, right? That's why we have a lot of people here in today's session and yesterday, because everyone is eager to learn and understand the changes that are happening across us, right? So moving forward, Ketan, this question is especially for you. We have a lot of AI tools that are available in the market, right? For different domains and from different perspectives. So, with respect to the to complement the agile methodologies, do you suggest any specific tools that you have already used and how it's going to create value add? If you can throw some light in that area.
So
Yeah.
firstly, there are many tools which are available I think before the tools, it is really important that we analyze the tools. There are two things, what I've experienced is, that we see the tool, we experience it, and we feel it is the best thing to do, that we just implement it.
Exactly.
But and we get blown away by the way things have been done, because that's exactly how our mind works. And then suddenly, when we started using the tool, we feel handcuffed about using it and getting it integrated to our systems. Let me take a very basic example of ChatGPT. Okay? It's one of the most familiarized tools everywhere. So if it is C for chai, then it is C for ChatGPT everywhere nowadays. Everybody has a window open. Uh, so anybody who is having a pro version of it or in the free version of it, there are many such different GPTs that a store in ChatGPT can provide it to you. So one thing that is used is, more often you use ChatGPT to correct your emails, to create a LinkedIn post, to create something of your email communications, or there could be images, there could be videos, so many things are there. And even at the same time, you can use the API of your account, API key of your account, and link the plugin of ChatGPT to your Excel sheets, PowerPoints, Microsoft Access, Microsoft Word, and you can just execute the prompt in your Word, and it basically gives a result. This is one of the fundamental thing that anybody can use. And if you are not, then the platform.chatgpt.com. If you go there, you automatically can suggest the temperature also. So we have temperature, you have tokenization, the number of tokens you really want to go with. You can purchase it. Nothing is free there. But the moment you apply your API key in your simple systems like Excel sheets and Microsoft Word, it will give you. Would you like to get the answer from ChatGPT? And the moment you do that, it automates it. Your entire Excel sheet will fill with the data. Your Microsoft Word will have all those things required that you really want from ChatGPT to come in. That's the first basic tool I would like to tell you how you can do it. The second that I would suggest is JEDA, JEDA.ai. One of the very good AI tools I've been using a lot with respect to product excellence a lot, with wireframes and diagrams, retrospectives, user journey maps, customer journey maps, so many things you can create in there. And the moment it creates it, you have to be very, very thorough about the outcomes and the goals you're listing it there. You can use JEDA, can have a plugin with ChatGPT API key and directly to your Microsoft PowerPoint. Automatically, the moment you go into it, it links the text from ChatGPT using the image from JEDA and get it done. These are all customizations that you can do. I'm talking about some simplistic tools that people can use it and can go and explore about it. There are many advanced tools. It basically can require a separate session to make them understand, but these two tools surely go and explore. The third is Jira plugins. Use Zapier, Zapier. It's a very fantastic tool to zap two different applications. You can just take the insight from ChatGPT's API of a backlog of 50 user stories, zap it to Jira, and automatically when you execute the zap and publish the Zapier that you create, the entire Jira will have a project with all the story card created. It can complete the stories for next 6 sprints as well, based on the priority that you are asking to prompt in ChatGPT. It is just about going and reviewing it. Yeah, do review it, ensure that it has been refined, and it is the best tool where the product owners or even Scrum Masters or product managers, or even for that matter, team members or any technical depth to be created for enablers or technical architects can use this tool. All said and done, it depends on how your organization is allowing you. Okay, it really depends on that factor as well. If it is the case, you can customize the use case for your need and can generate your own wrapper above the LLM inside your organization to see how you can implement it. So these are 3 of the tools. If you go towards Mabl, that is MABL, it's one of the ways of how you can integrate the CI/CD pipelines and have test automations that can be AI driven. It's a very fantastic way of how you can have AI driven automation towards CI/CD. It basically generates feedback as well. When the builds are not running, it generates the results and the questioning as well that enhances the product agility. There's one more called as AI Ops platform for Dynatrace and I think it's called as Mooksoft. I'm not sure. Maybe sorry for that. But it is more about detecting the anomalies in the operations. So if you are integrating and deploying in the entire operations, you can have AI Ops linking the Dynatrace and Mooksoft, which basically will provide you anomalies and the past anomalies of those incidents as well. And what are the steps that you can do to avoid in future and maybe in the current incident as well. The last is a very good tool called as Team Mood, TEAMMOOD. It's a fantastic AI-driven retrospective tool. The only challenge here is that whatever you're going to give as a retrospective points, it is going to capture from your discussions. Like it is like going to be an AI companion. You just started. It's going to start with respect to the expressions or with the kind of discussions happening based on the way your expressions are, not expressions, based on the way the text expressions are. If I say, I am really frustrated, okay, then it is going to take the mood out of it. It will categorize it into the frustration part of it. Oh, I'm really happy. The sprint was really great. I really like the way that John was working. Automatically, it would convert it into an exciting part of it. So it will categorize the retrospective in emotions. It can categorize the retrospective in different positives and negatives as well, the way you want to churn it out. Some basic tools and some important tools that in day out for a daily AI context is something that you can use in. If you go more in detail, you have Tasked and Perplexity, which has so many broader scope. Tasked is where you can do sprint planning, refinement completely. And there's one more AI tool called as Spinach.io, the last one I would like to share. It has been considered as an AI Scrum Master. You add AI, the way you have AI companion, just add Spinach.io. It acts as an AI Scrum Master. It's just that it will record everything. You don't need a Scrum Master. It will generate the meeting notes. At the same time, it will also check on the impediments you said. Go back to the linking LLM, bring in the factors of what you can do to improvise your or implement your impediment solutions. And if you give him the access to many other data and sources, it can also go inside your data to tell you what exactly you should be doing as a root cause and what are the steps to it. But are we really ready to make it exposed like that? These are the questions pertaining to these tools, which are quite generic in nature and available. I would suggest, being my experience, that look at your organization's guidelines, compliance, and look at the data and the nature of the severity of it, and then try to use it and suggest it. And before doing that, the way every flight attendant says that before you want to help somebody else, help yourself. It's very important that you try it out first. Don't just go and purchase the pro version because you like it. Experience it for a month, see the pros and cons, and then invest your money into it. Because once the credit card bills goes in, every month it's going to be auto-deducting. It's very important that you check it very well before using any AI tools. I think these are the ones basics that I can feel that anybody can start from tomorrow on. So that's all from me.
Thanks so much, Ketan, for sharing good and important tools. Meghna, from your side, any different tools that you have experienced or any thoughts from your side?
Yeah, sure. So again, I prefer to start a little bit with why do we need a tool? So I think Ketan also outlined to that to a great extent on the purpose behind using something. So start with the purpose in mind. For example, let's say if I usually do a lot of writing and blogging. So let's say if my purpose is to make my blog better, then what is it that I have today? That's one aspect of it. The other is if I'm doing this for the organization I work for. So then, comes the elements which have already been spoken around security, privacy. So get that in order first. And of course, the third most important aspect is how much disruption are you prepared to take when you are trying to embrace a new tool. So those would be some of, or rather precisely three things to consider before getting excited about things. Tools will keep on coming. They have been developed since the time we have known how to develop a tool till today, and then many more to come. So yeah, of course, to complement agile methodologies in particular, you have a number of those, depends on what you're doing in your project or what are the services you're rendering. And there are the chat GPTs of the world to Canva Pro, which helps you create a lot of content. And it has a very interesting AI complement as well, which again, to a great extent, comes with the requirement to upgrade to a version and so on. So before you get excited about that, make sure that you are in the right direction from the perspective of your purpose and your organization and the disruption you're ready to take. And another interesting thing that I personally always first encourage looking for is, what do you have available? And is there an AI integrated plugin or something that can get connected to it, so that you don't actually have to discard from tomorrow what you have? So, if you have your Jenkins set up, you have a neat integration of AI with that, then go ahead and use that. Now, if you're already doing some static code analysis, there are those interesting tools. And one tool that I have already used for quite some years now, which is CodeScene, and they are continuously making their LLM better in terms of doing a lot of analysis on the code. At the heart, it is a static code analyzer, but it gives you a host of information including when the code was changed and what has been the number of instances, who has been changing it periodically, so that you also have these as a feed forward into your team composition eventually. And that's, I think, an advantage over, we have all known static code analyzers for many years now, but something like this, above and beyond giving you the cohesion, coupling, maintainability, it gives you an edge of, how far your code is changing and where exactly is the exciting stuff, so that you plan your team and composition accordingly overall. And of course, we are all always talking about bots for specific purpose. So there are things that integrate with Teams, and there are things that integrate with a whole lot of tools. So yes, feel free to use them to the extent that you're ready to correlate them to a purpose, why you're doing what you're doing. And there are a few interesting things that I use even generally, which is something called Free Code Camp. That's interesting at learning. So go ahead. It's part of it for sure is free. Good to try out before you make a confident choice. And then we all have seen multiple image generators and text generators and the likes, which help us in very different ways. So yeah, there are a host of things that are available, but very importantly, get your reasons in order why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, thanks, Meghana. That's a great way of explaining.
Just addition, yeah. One just thing I want to add on a personal note is,
Go ahead.
there's one application called as PI. If you download that in your cell phone, it acts as a voice assistant to you, and also can be used in many different aspects. You can try that out. It's PI simply. The the one that I'm using personally very much is Color Note, COLORNOTE, and I use it while talking to my 94-year-old grandfather, because he can't listen. And when I have to convert the speech into some language, I just use it. I just talk to it. It basically creates a text out of it, which is very easy for me to show it to him. And at the same time, he can understand what I'm trying to say. It has many different ways of doing it. These are some tools which are getting evangelizing, even in the way that maybe some Microsoft Teams AI advanced version tomorrow will come in such a way where you are just speaking it up, and you can just provide your updates maybe morning 7 a.m. Even if the stand-up is at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, that text can be saved, and you can have your own dummy AI Ketan been created who can be representing you in the stand-up meeting despite you not being there. These are some advancements happening with respect to AI in current dimensions, but despite all of them, the human-centric intuition has to be maintained. So just to add on to that.
Thanks, Ketan, for sharing the valuable tools. I think both of you have covered the essential tools that we can use as part of the entire SDLC lifecycle, right? I think we can move forward. So Nagini, this question is into you. Like, one of the key traits or aspects which senior leadership most of the time look for is with respect to the decision making, right? Whether it can be at the team level or program level or the entire portfolio level. Decision making in a lot of areas gives a key importance. So how you think like, in this AI world, how AI will help improve this decision making process? If you can throw some light with some areas of examples, I think that will be great.
Yeah. As all of us are hearing from yesterday that, AI enhances our decision making, by providing data-driven insights and predictive analysis. So we can use the same thing even at the team level, first of all, where we are trying to say that, you use the past sprint data or past PI data to anticipate the future performance of the team, or anything like a potential bottlenecks which may spring up, some things like that. So fundamental also when we are talking about the agile teams, which I feel increases or enhances the accuracy of your output from the agile teams. That way we can use a few of these features, and objective insights is another thing which we can use. One more thing I actually like when it comes to the outputs of the AI tools is reducing the likelihood of human error and the biases by the way you are feeding into the AI tools. Most of the times it is the real-time tracking, which is very useful to take some decisions on the go. And for example, for the leaders, you have a lot of ways of getting improved prediction of on the ground business, realities, or what is happening in the market, the trends and the developments across the products which is happening. Maybe, a virtual persona can be created. A role play can be, taken into consideration when you are talking about the real life scenarios, or thinking about a product and how it can be applied to a particular group of people. Those things can be done easily to take a decision whether you want to really go with the product or not. Even at that level, you can take those kind of insights from these tools. One other thing I remember is the use of storyboards. We hear from leaders, right? They use the storyboard, so they can have a virtual storyboard from an AI tool, which can utilize, as a virtual storyboard, and they can get the outcome from that and decide on a lot of things about their products or their journey towards the next quarter, next year, or whatever it is. Another thing I wanted to highlight here is a lot of times, at least in my area of transformation, I'm seeing that there are a lot of gaps in the data insights which are coming from these AI tools. So we can try to pay attention towards that and bring that closer. The gaps can be removed easily with the decision of the leaders. One other thing is always there is something called as a team, and there are a lot of a collection of teams which makes an organization. For me, there is a experience curve of the team. Some may be noise, some may be experienced, some may be in the middle. So give attention towards the experience of the team, and that can help you to maintain these expertise. I heard a word called as expertise currency. That is actually a kind of a vault for the organization, where all the collective expertise of the individuals is a currency for the organization. So the decisions to maintain this currency is very important for the leaders, and that can be achieved through some kind of AI routines, which they can run through those teams which are working under them. There are so many specializations. There are so many things which are getting legend, and now they are become legacy also. Maybe sometimes you need a legacy expert to resolve something where the transformation has happened and now there is a problem from that. So these are all some things which I feel are very good examples of how the AI can help you in decision making. Mostly, I feel it is going to lighten the cognitive load on the leaders. And example which Meghna has given about the autopilot, exactly that is what I was thinking when she explained that leader has to have the partnership with the leaders with the AI tools to take better decisions in any of the contexts, and human decision making must continue to deliver what their own skill, and they have to depend on their own skills. And the judgment has to be always taken in full consensus about all the facts which are known from the outcomes of the AI tools and their experience, and the judgmental decisions from a group of leaders. It's not like one person can take a total judgment or any decision on any of the future things. One thing I just wanted to highlight here is the AI tools may do a lot of things, but they may not replace the need for the choices, the innovation, and the teamwork mainly. That actually has to be in place to take any of the decisions. And as the previous speaker has quoted, I just wanted to highlight that again, maintain the human-centric approach for any decision making, though you are using a lot of AI tools. So that is what my thought is here.
Thanks, Nagini. Saurabh, any different thoughts from your side?
As rightly mentioned by Nagini, that yes, the human will remain at the center and all things will remain in the supporting arena. So I would like to give 3 examples from 3 areas which should help us figure it out what exactly the role it can play. So let's take one area which is for business analysis, business analyst and product owners. Let's say, so people use it for backlog prioritization. You can shove in all the customer data and everything and then figure it out what is the most important thing that we need to develop in the next sprints. That is one typical use case. But one atypical use case is that we were running a project where we had some functional complex requirement where if you deactivate a particular master in the system, then it impacts some child masters, it impacts all the transactions. So we need to figure it out how to deal with that kind of situation. What kind of messages should we give it out to the users? Should we deactivate a particular transaction or should we not? So we prepared a huge matrix for us, right? And we shoved it into the chat GPT and other tools. And we figured it out that there were a lot of missing stuff from what people have created. So the decision making became much more simpler and easier for us, that people are able to see their own mistakes, that they have been able to miss out those cases from their solution. So it can really help to figure out the solutioning to the complex functional problems that you're dealing with. So that's one example I have. Another example is that in the realm of, let's say, development, we figured it out that a lot of bugs were getting increased in the development phase, and the count was increasing. And then we understood that because there was a lot of freshers component into the project. But we figured it out that if you were to focus on each of the things at the same time, it can be a little bit challenging for the people because there's a learning curve involved. So we said, okay, so let's figure out the MVP of the bug fixing. So what are the more prioritized bugs that we should fix in the sprints earlier, and we can remain the focus of the other things out of the MVP product. So we will figure it out how to deal with maybe with some security issues, So we picked up, let's say, top 10 OWASP vulnerabilities as the main criteria. We figured out performance being one of the main criteria. And then we created, with the help of ChatGPT, that particular checklist or definition of done, that these are the things. So ChatGPT advised us with a lot of stuff over there. And we were able to create a MVP definition of done or MVP checklist for the development team, that these are the checks that we need to implement in static or dynamic code reviews. So that's another example where it helped us take a decision. Third is the area related to the agile project management. We were running with a very large scale project, and then estimation was becoming a big challenge, because you have to figure it out, the technical functional debt that you will incur while you're running the sprints and other things. So we were a little bit at a loss. Team was a little bit not coming on one page with respect to how much component of the technical debt they should keep in their planning while they are doing a long-term release planning for the project, not the sprint planning, release planning. So we got very good information from the tools about some benchmarks which are available for doing this particular estimation, and we use that benchmark for a couple of months. That this is something, that this is the component that we keep it for the technical debt, paying the technical debt, and then we validate it with the reality, whether whatever we have figured it out in the through the AI tool, whether actually we are incurring that much of debt or not. And we figured it out that data was quite accurate to a degree. So the idea is that all these things can enable good decision making to happen in an agile project. That's it from
Thanks,
my side.
Saurabh. That's a great way of explaining things with real-time examples. Really appreciate that.
Yeah. So all the problems we faced, all three problems were faced, and then we figured out some solution through ChatGPT, and really helped us in that scenario.
Understood. So let's go to Ketan again. Ketan, while agility is one side of the coin, right? The other side of the coin is with respect to the DevOps practices, right? So there is some amount of influence from AI on the DevOps area also, right? Can you please help us understand how AI and DevOps is going to work together? Can you throw some insights there? That will be great.
Sure. So let's see about DevOps and DevSecOps. Basically, you club the development and the operations together, right? And you have the CI, CD, CE, CT, so many C's and so many alphabets coming together. And we say we are implementing it, and everybody believes in it that we implement it. Despite that, you do it in many bits and pieces every time. So the point comes, and let's talk about some use case straight away. So let's take an example. It gets very generic when I say that, AI-driven reviews. What exactly is AI-driven code review? How you do it, right? So let's take some examples of some sections. So let's talk about incident management with some predictive analytics. So suppose we have a use case where we have system failures on performance degradation. Okay, the system is working on, there is a normal BAU system of some scheduler, and which needs some upgrades. The upgradations have been done. The performance has been really great, but now the performance is getting impacted. And how you basically predict the system failures happening. So you basically have AI-powered systems like MuleSoft, or traditionally you have Splunk. If anybody has used Splunk, if you know that, you basically generate those system failures coming in.
Yeah.
Now, before they occur, by analyzing the historical data. Now, understand that all these things require a historical implementation of DevOps in your system. If you don't have historical aspect of DevOps for last 1 year or 6 months, and the data is not available, no Gen AI solution will help you.
Right.
It is not that today I feel that AI needs to be there. Let's be AI powered, so we implemented it. No, you need to have data. The first concept of any AI, generative AI, is to have data. Then it could be trained, and then it can understand it, what to share, what not to share. That's the first thing. So let's take an example. That you have a retail platform. Some retail platform server is there. Typically, it is crashing during the flash sales. The normal you have the flash sales happening, 30% off, 50% off, and so on and so forth, dynamically generating. Suppose if that has been failing, then AI can basically predict the timing and cause of such incidents. In evening 4 p.m., when lots and lots of men are out there to see in the flash sale to purchase, maybe on the Black Friday, or maybe on so and so date, wherever it has been crashing. AI can generate, that in so and so date and so time during so and so festival, such problems are happening. Be aware of it. Now you are humans, act on it. I am done with my job. Don't ask me to do it. Because if you ask me to fix it, I don't know the cultural emotion of it. I can show you the sale of Diwali in Dashera if I have not been trained properly. Now, this is one way of how this DevOps piece can be implemented if you have system failures. Even for that matter, it could be more of the configurations and also about optimization the configurations. Normally in DevOps, you have configurations to understand how many deployments per week, how many deployments per day, how many deployments to segment it, bi-weekly or whatever it is. These configurations, if it is not been going as per the schedule, you get a backtracking of system failure and you can predict that by AI. Understand predictive analysis. It can only predict, it cannot act on it unless you don't train it that way. That's the first thing of it. The second is not many people, they in DevOps, you have a lot of root causes coming in. If Sonar Cube is one way of reviewing your code, if it is generating some review comments to you and you want to automate that, and whatever review comments are coming based on the previous data or factor of automation, it should automatically do a root cause analysis of it. So you basically can use Testin or Mabel, as I said earlier, to basically find out automatically prioritizing the critical test cases that you have, specifically for continuous testing. So that CT, that is your continuous testing, will not be impacted. And at the same time, before this, there's an AI tool called as Dynatrace. And Dynatrace is more important to understand the sudden spike in any such queries happening or any user-facing services which are basically impacting. It is also about if there is any special function required for a new code all of a sudden inside your DevOps piece, or any new code required for your functionality that you have to randomly do it, then it can basically help you in both root cause analysis and the continuous testing as well. The last I would like to share with you is more about resource optimization to cloud infrastructure. We normally have AWS, Amazon Web Services everywhere. It is more about how you can bring in machine learning for auto scaling to basically monitor the overall workloads, which can adjust the server capacity based on the traffic coming into it. So these are some of the ways of how you can, in DevOps, as a specific use cases, you can implement it right from your CI, CD, and CT. Integration, if you have system failures, go and fix it with predictive analysis. You go to continuous testing, do it using some critical test cases before that, do root cause analysis. In all and everywhere, be the scrutiny, be the security manager, be the guard of it, or that society or that locality of your DevOps. Don't let it happen the way it is. It will crash badly. And it requires a lot of maturity to implement AI-powered DevOps systems. So automated CI/CD pipeline is something that also requires human endeavors to come in picture. There is one tool I would suggest you is harness.io. So do go and see what harness.io is. It is more about managing the deployment pipelines, where if you have risky code changes, it will highlight you with some color. Okay, and it will automatically roll it back for the performance. It requires a great amount of understanding to expose our data and CI/CD pipeline, but it's very good to use it if it has been used effectively, ethically, with the compliance of your organization. So those are such ways of how you can implement AI-powered DevOps pieces.
Great way to explain, Ketan. Can you suggest some metrics also in that space? What are the effective metrics and the KPIs that we can measure for the DevOps area as well as Agile area?
So when you talk about the metrics for DevOps, you have deployment frequency ratio. Okay, this is one of the DevOps specific KPI. Now, if you talk about AI KPIs, AI-driven KPIs specific, if you're talking about only DevOps, you have deployment frequency, you have release efficiency, you then have a deployment failure ratio, which all these metrics can support the predictive analysis from AI. These are some of the specific CI/CD DevOps implemented result-oriented metrics that basically we have been part of to use it. When you talk about AI coming in picture, then it has to be automation index. How much of AI automation you have done? It basically measures the percentage of tasks that basically AI has successfully automated. So maybe an example I can give you is, that when you are doing a backlog grooming or a sprint planning, whatever tasks are there inside the user story, are those automated for a given sprint? Like if you have code changes, are those code changes been linked to the deployment and is AI enabling that? So it could be more driven into it, like an automation index overall. You go into get an ethical AI compliance ratio. As we talked yesterday in one of the as for the panel discussion, you go with ethics sprint. And if you are having an ethics compliance score coming in picture, then every aspect of AI enabled DevOps being used, it can be reviewed that is it really compliant with our norms? Is it really compliant by the definition of done generated for AI? Now, because when you have AI coming in picture, your DoD will have ethics and AI coming in picture as well. You have to mention that so the team can have their working agreements like that. You basically go and understand the ethical AI compliance piece of this. You also can have AI-driven decision rate. How much of AI predictive analysis has given you a decision rate which is successfully complementing to what your resultant solutions are? Maybe it is more about also how accurately AI predicted team velocity or delivery times based on the previous 6 sprints and the ways of working and the impact and environmental issues and so on and so forth. It can generate data and insight of how you would be in future, but that has to be supported by the team and human intuitions and their consciousness as well. So these are some KPIs in a very generic way that teams can regularly and can sooner implement who are having AI. And also for DevOps, it has to be linked with those frequencies and those efficiencies of code reviews and deployments. These are some of the KPIs that I can relate it to, which can be readily used and can be thought about it. There can be many more. It can be a big list as well, where you surely want to go deep dive into what kind of decisions are coming. Is the decisions been predictive? The decision been augmentative? There can be many more of it. But simplistically to use it, these are some KPIs that one can start with.
Nagini, you want to share any different thoughts or metrics? Suggest some metrics from your side.
I don't see Nagini in the call actually.
I think Sharon, she has a network issue, Sharon.
Okay, that's fine. I think in that perspective, we are almost at the end of the discussion. I especially want to thank Ketan, Saurabh, Meghana, and Nagini ma'am for sharing their valuable insights with respect to AI and its evolution. Before we call it off, I just want to share a few insights from the insurance domain perspective. Recently, I've gone through one of the articles where there is a survey from the National Insurance Crime Bureau, where they predict that insurance fraud costs for the total industry is at 80 billion annually, right? Moving forward in the coming future. But according to them, by introducing AI, it can be reduced almost to the 50% in the upcoming years. So that is how AI is going to impact the insurance space also. Also, the overall claim processing time, right? That also can be reduced by 50%. And whatever the operational costs that currently the insurance industries are bearing, that also can be reduced at more or less than 40%. So these are the few metrics that I have learned through that article. With respect to few tools that they might be using, right? It can be with respect to optical character recognition methodology, right? In terms of digitizing the documents. Nowadays, you see most of the insurance organizations, they use certain internally developed tools in order to read the documents through which they can process the claims to the next level. But optical character recognition methodology will help to increase the process of processing those documents and digitizing the same. Then we have few things like with respect to AI-driven fraud detection systems, right? Image recognition technologies, and if you want to, quote, there can be a lot. But in the interest of time, these are the few insights which I want to share with all of you from the insurance domain perspective. And once again, I want to thank Ketan, Meghana, Saurabh, and Nagini for sharing their valuable insights. Now, I want to open this forum for the audience to see if they have any interesting questions that they want to talk to the panelists. Satish, can we open the forum for the participants, please?
Sorry. Yes, Sharat.
If anyone has
who is
any questions,
interested?
please raise your hands. Sorry, Satish, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, in case anyone is interested, want to share, feel free to raise your hands. We can unmute.
We have one question I see already from Vijay. Anyone has background in AI tools used in medical industry or healthcare?
So
Maybe
one of them that I can share is OARM. So I'm not sure whether you know about OARM. It's O for owl and hyphen and ARM, OARM. It's a very, very worldwide AI. I would say it's not a tool. It's basically a solution which has been used for knee replacements everywhere. So it's a fantastic way which has made this knee replacement surgeries quite easy in India and across the world. It basically knows where exactly to operate, and it basically gets into uh, a good way of not only operating but also the procedure having clear dimensions of how much bone and how much implant has to be put in. That's one of the tools that is heavily used. So that's one that I know in one of the largest in the medical industry.
Can you type the name stuff here? Because
Yeah,
if
sure,
you've not
absolutely.
heard those tools, we need to Google again or ask ChatGPT.
I've already
Okay,
done that.
Right. So I'll give you a little background, okay? After 7 weeks of Oxford AI design program and learning with too many professionals across the world, people coming from fintech, people coming from the doctors from Australia. One lady I know, she was, I think, Nigerian, 20 plus career in doctor, I think gynec in Australia, very strong opinion kind of stuff. Some healthcare medical industry from Austria. Amazing help that they see, or in NHS here in UK. Simple example, where there was a news yesterday on BBC that if anybody's here from UK, that there's a fear in NHS that it will die or it needs reboosting kind of because of the budget. It needs many billions, some 30 billions to reform the things. But there is a fear people may lose job, but same time will enhance the health, the people, to identify the cancer in the first or second stage using AI tool. Because it can identify the dead cells in your scanning itself in the beginning. So there is a lot of study going on. I just finished my business case. There is IP, intellectual property from Oxford. I can't disclose which business case I'm working on, but I just finished one 4 days ago, and I'm still collecting the information. And that is the reason I thought to ask this question basically, because I know we are enhancing the software industry, or a lot of people from banking like Meghana, you guys from working with US industry. But if anybody has come up with any healthcare industry, feel free to share with me. The reason there are doctors who are not technical, but they depend on technical as a group now. We are a big group now, 30, 40 people. In WhatsApp group, we are supporting from software industry to them in Australia kind of. That is the reason my question was, because the good thing is eye-opening for in like learning from 1950, from Turing test and everything. Now we are here, but still it looks like an ocean after 7 weeks. Too much things going on in that, and people are scared. But we all know that European AI Act being first drafted last month, is almost a month, not exactly a month, 4 weeks ago. We are still studying. We're still trying to understand, and Oxford is coming out with their own act as a draft, what it should be as a maturity assessment in the long term, which can be used by the other countries. Because we are asking this question, what is maturity assessment in the industry, in the company? I want to say that this much AI is like we used to call ISO standard 2099, and then we call I forgot the another standard we used to apply in software industry in India. So like this, we are
BFSI?
working on maturity assessment business case as well. Sorry, CMM is one I remember. Yeah, CMM something.
BFSI.
CMMI.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, CMMI. Yeah, that's correct. So which kind of maturity assessment we should use when we are adopting AI? Because you guys have given almost close to 10 tools now in last 10 minutes. So there are a lot of tools as you could explore. You ask ChatGPT, it will give another 10, another 20. But understand why, as Meghna was asking or Nandin was asking, why are we using it? What is the purpose? What's problem we are trying to solve? From Agile, we start with why, right? So what problem we are trying to solve with that tool is first thing we need to clear, and then we can just go and explore. Like you remember once we used to have sonar to understand the code analysis, static code analysis. Now we have plenty like sonar or with AI as well. But there is a big confusion. There are too many tools suddenly came out, but same time there is I heard, I don't have any concrete data, in last 2, 3, 4 years, or now there is a trend, lot of AI startups starting, but there are chances 80% startup will fail because everybody is starting because others are starting. You get it? Because everybody is developing a tool, and there is people literally coming and asking me, do you have any ideas? Because I have money. Don't to start have a startup kind of, because just you pass out after 7 weeks, and do you have an idea? We want to invest in that. So there is a fear that everybody will start, and then one day, you remember dot-com clash we had in 2000 time. So likewise, people, there is a fear as well. Any boost goes down, up, it is supposed to come down. Is a gravity end of the day. Okay. So likewise, we need a proper tool as well, but we need to proper study as well and summarize what we can really ask people. And healthcare is very important now. People are ready to invest because that is affecting more than software industry, more than a currency. Yes, crypto, other things is affecting a lot of cyber crimes happening. If you're aware, we had a riot in UK a month ago. Within a week time, within less than 2 weeks, people are jailed for maximum 20 years, 19 years, just because of face recognition system applied by and finding, snatching people from their house and literally locating people, which area they were locating. Within 2 weeks, they were trialed, they sent behind the central jail. So which is one of the fastest justice what they provided, just because of AI facial recognition. But ethical part is very dangerous. Is it ethical to scan every corner of our face when we go on high street? That is a big question going on. So I just want to
So
narrate
Vijay,
this. We needed tools. Yeah.
yeah. Thanks for sharing your insights, Vijay. Any questions from your side before we move to the next set of items for the day?
So maybe just a quick thought, Vijay. I don't plan to cover all that here and now, but yes, there are a lot of things which are happening in healthcare, really revolutionizing stuff. So I would strongly encourage you to look up someone on LinkedIn called Dr. Harvey Castro. He's also known as Dr. GPT. And it's very interesting on some of the studies that he has done about AI's future in medicine. So that would be something interesting for you to chase. The other very important aspect to consider is it's not so easy bringing anything into healthcare, because you are directly having an impact on human life in one way or the other. Though these might be an assistant to the doctors or the medical professionals. So AI in medicine will, to what I can see, take a slower route as compared to using it for a whole lot of other things. Okay, so there will be changes which will happen, but they will proceed at a slower pace.
Meghna, does it mean, let me correct myself here. AI tools should not make decisions. AI should help with the metrics and data, so human can make decision. That is
Yes.
that is what the other side of AI we are talking
Data
about,
is
as the industry.
equally responsible when it comes to medical devices. Reason being, a false diagnosis is going to change the perception of the doctor. It has the ability to change the perception of the doctor. So, of course, human in the loop is far more important here than any other field, I would say, because one decision goes a long way in a positive direction or so. Yeah, but with that being said, on one side is the advancements, on the other side, the regulations. So if you must release something, you need all the FDAs and the med dev understanding and so on. That's a different altogether. But with all that happening, there are advancements. So, we have a few things on the chat already. So go through that. There's an exciting world out there, promising world out there. However, it requires a lot more study, testing, and approvals for anything to come by in the field of health. Let's recognize that part also.
So, Ketan and Saurabh, I saw
Yeah,
you raise
just,
your hands.
oh
Any
yeah,
final thoughts?
just one final thought here is, any industry for that matter. You talk about medical, you talk about IT, you talk about healthcare, you talk about finance, wherever it is, when you talk about ethics, as one point was mentioned about being ethical everywhere. So it's very important to understand, that how these ethical concepts can be brought in place. And it could be for patients, it could be for the systems for doctors, it could be for healthcare industry as well. There are ethical imperatives, which basically comes with the transparency and trust, accountability. It's more about explainability as well, user feedback and consent. All these things are important when you are trying any AI tool to be deployed for any industry. And this is one aspect that I wanted to share, because I've learned a great deal from one of my colleagues as well, Suvarna, who have really practiced this well, who's an ethical AI practitioner. And this is one aspect which I've learned a lot to implement this clearly in my organization as well. So this is one aspect that I wanted to share, that ethical imperatives are very important, which is quite human centric. We have to bring it in for any AI tool to be deployed and created. That's the only thing I felt to be shared about with.
Ketan,
So,
you'll appreciate.
in the interest of time, so sorry to cut you, Vijay.
Yeah.
Probably this discussion can be
I'll take it offline.
can happen
then,
offline.
Ketan.
Please. Thanks so much for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll take it.
One last and final thought from Saurabh, please.
I think two pieces of information which could be useful to Vijay. One is there is a pilot project going on in a Southeast Asian country, a controlled pilot project where doctors are using ChatGPT to get some inputs for their decision making to reduce the load on the doctors. That's one piece which is going on. Another piece is that ChatGPT in its new version, it's slated to be released either in December or in the first quarter of 2025. They have a specific dedicated focus for the medical piece. So they are developing something where they can give a lot of inputs and feed into the chat GPT to get the right amount of validated outputs for the doctors. Once again, decision will be taken by the doctor, but they are going to use this as a addition to their decision making. So these are two pieces of information I thought it might be useful to you.
Yeah. Cheers.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks everyone for your valuable insights. In the interest of time, I think we have to move forward. Nirmala, handing it over to you for the next.
Thank you so much, Satish, and to all the panelists. To be honest, it's very insightful discussion on the AI and Agile, knowing different tools. I have listed out almost 10 plus tools here. At least 5 I am targeting to explore more and use it effectively. And other thing is like your perspectives, right? Whatever you took it as examples or everything, it has given us a lot to think. So for sure, we are taking a lot from here, and I can see many people are having a lot of questions. So to all the participants, we will be publishing their all the panelists LinkedIn profile details too. For sure, we can get more information from their profile, articles, or the blogs, and we can have the conversation going over there also. So thank you to all the panelists. And Subbu, can we have that digital certificate shown as a token of appreciation from our group?
Yeah, sure thing.
Just to let you know, this is a new certificate for today's topic. It's not the same as yesterday.
So we got two.
So you got two
Very
certificates.
glad. We're glad that AI is not there. They have thrown out the certificates as well. You just mentioned about multiple times interest of time. You know, if AI would have read that word as text interest of time, we would have been out of this meeting anyways.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
That's where you need humans in the loop.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
It
you very
was
much.
so
Thank
good
you.
to spend
for
a meaningful time today.
Thank you
Learned
very
a
much.
lot as well. Thank you.
Very
Yeah,
interesting
and
and
thank you,
fascinating
thank you,
discussion.
Sharath and Satish and the entire volunteering team. I will resonate that again, as I said yesterday. Being part of a community in Agile and what it takes to conduct a conference virtually, it takes immense amount of hard work, immense amount of contribution from everybody. You know, it might be a days and nights been spent across to make this enable for people and participants and for all of us. And it was a smooth execution, which we can't see the behind the scenes work, but it would have been a great and tremendous effort been put by the entire volunteer group. So thanks for all of you for a still fantastic shining 2024. I think you have been the shining star of it. So kudos to all of you for organizing it to the beautiful way. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
Ketan.
I
Thanks,
echo.
everyone.
Yeah.
And
Kudos
thanks
to the organizers
the-
as well.
Very sorry for the interruptions I had. After all, we are there in the tech world. We can't expect anything.
Yeah, we respond to change or following a plan. So it's good
Yeah.
to see you.
Correct.
Nagini, that's what we can resonate, right? That human touch. I know we are in the digital era, somehow here and there that interruptions to remind us that human touch is required.
Yeah.
right, human touch is needed, and that ensured that we never go off air. So that was the interesting part, right? And that's something probably no algorithm can do for you.
Yeah.
Right. I think we have an interesting thing here also here. Porkun, are you there? Hope you